Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episodes 8 and 9 of Dragon Prince. Yes, we are finishing out season 1 today with 2 episodes in one go. There's not really any big reason for this other than just I think it's about time we do finish out season 1. I think it's just the right time and everything to really get that rolling. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, this does mean we're going to be taking a break. We're not going right into season 2 next week. We are going to be taking a break and going on to some other things for this slot. And as you know, this slot is the reward reaction slot. So there's kind of a lot that goes into that as it is. And the big question is, like, you know, what do I replace it with? Do I go back to Dofus? Do I start the next thing that's, well, in line? Well, here's the thing. As I've said before, until we open a second slot, which will basically be once JoJo finishes, we're going to do it in the way to where it's cartoon anime. Cartoon anime. So this was a cartoon. Dragon Prince is a cartoon. So next we will be moving on to an anime. And the next anime that we have on our list, let me make sure here. Give me a second. Yes, the next anime we have on our list is Reincarnated as a Slime. So that will be coming up next week. That's all I can tell you for now because I don't know what it's going to be like, and I don't even know yet if I'm going to do the sub or the dub of it, but that will be coming next week. I might not end up liking it. I might actually like it. I don't know. But that's going to be in its place for now, and then after that we would go back to Dofus, because going back to a cartoon rather than an anime. And again, if we do end up continuing through Slime to the point where it gets to where JoJo does end and everything, then I will just add that second slot in on Thursdays. And instead of, you know, instead of having 2 shows on Saturday, it'll just be 2 on Thursday. And we'll have Dofus come in at that point to accompany Slime, basically. That's the plans for right now. Anything can change. But as for these episodes, so last we left off, our group of unexpected heroes, you could say, are running up to the mountain on which there is this legend about this mysterious healer. They figure it's possibly the only way to save the dragon egg, as well as to possibly be able to remove the binding from Rayla's wrist. But obviously there's no even guarantees that there is any mysterious healer. The only lead they got into this is this young girl who said that she went up there. There was this mysterious healer up there who saved her pet wolf, and that's basically all they have to work with. All they know for sure is that this mountain is excessively dangerous. And from what we saw of the villagers who were chasing them out of the town, they don't even think that they're going to survive going up there. So who knows what's going to happen. But meanwhile, we have Viren's children on the hunt for them, hiding from each other their own little secret goals that their father gave to them, and doing whatever they can to find the children. To find mainly just the boys, of course, the princes. So yeah, that I feel is going to be coming to a head here. I talked about before how I think that both of the children will end up being redeemed, because it just kind of felt like it was going that way in terms of their characterization and development. And I think that this would be the best point to do so. Have them come head to head on this mountain with our heroes and realize what's going on and realize that they can't fulfill their secret goals and stuff, and just they have to, in the end, change sides and realize that their father is a colossal asshole who needs to be imprisoned for the rest of his fucking life. I don't know if it'll go that far, but I definitely think this will be a good point for that, especially with it being the end of the season. I think that'll especially help with that kind of, way to conclude season one. But that's just my guess at this point. I mean, if they don't do that, I'm sure they can probably finish it off well. Maybe the egg will hatch. I don't know. Something. But yeah, I definitely think they're going to want to end off the season. Excuse me. End off the season on a big note. Something that just really makes things feel like it's a true finale, Heck, maybe both of those could happen. Maybe the egg will hatch, and that is what kind of brings these two into realization. I'm excited to see, though. So yeah, we're doing 2 episodes today. Luckily, I don't have anywhere to go today. I'm not meeting my friend at the bar this week, so don't have to worry about time restraints as much. I just have to get things recorded, obviously, before my dad gets home, which I have plenty of time for. So, that being said, yeah, we're just going to get started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. Well, episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so I was partially right in my theories about this episode. I was wrong in that the brother and sister would find the princes and Rayla and all by the end, and that would lead to their redemption. They're stretching that out a little more. But I was right about the possibility of the dragon egg hatching. So we've got Ozymandias, or I'm just going to say Ozymandias. I don't know. They said some other name for it, but like a little nickname, but I don't remember what it is at the moment. But it's like, so we got our baby dragon here, and apparently it can just break magical binds. I guess dragons just have the magical power to be able to do something like that. So Rayla is out of her binding, and that I actually didn't expect. I'll be honest, I actually expected her to lose her arm. I know that may sound harsh, but I expected her to lose her arm and maybe have to deal with having no arm, or maybe getting a prosthetic at some point. I actually thought it was going to go that route, because it seemed, I mean, not only just because it seemed like there was nothing that could get her out of the binding, but I think it could have been a really interesting development for her character to have to go through. Instead, they did release her, and I'm not upset about that. Don't get me wrong, even though I think it would have been a cool development for her to go through losing her arm. I don't think this is like a bad thing that they didn't do that. Excuse me. I just think it's surprising, personally. But yeah, so that's all fixed. But at the end, we see that our heroes are tracked by Claudia and her brother. And it's just like, yeah, that's leading into the premiere for next time, for sure. And maybe they still will be redeemed. And I think it's actually very possible. But then we have the stuff with Viren and the, I guess you could call him the leader of the elf assassination team. So we have that group, or that side of the story, I should say, not group. So Viren is trying to get this information out of him. He's threatening him with death and stuff, and the elf is basically saying, "I don't give a shit. I'm already dead at this point. You'd have to find something that would be, or no, actually, it's Viren who says that he has to find something worse than death." What Viren wants to know is like the information regarding this mirror. He shows it to the elf after threatening him with these coins or something. I'm not entirely sure, but it definitely upsets the elf. He shows him the mirror, and he admits that, yeah, that's worse than death, but I'm still not going to tell you shit. And so at that point, Viren uses his dark magic to, I guess they were more like marbles and not coins or something. I don't know. But he traps the elf in one of them, kind of not really stealing his soul per se, more like stealing his life essence and trapping it in there. So it's really interesting that way. I figure we're going to find out more about that in the future. Now we also saw that upon using the dark magic, Viren had this evil-looking form, and we also saw that later on, afterwards, he still was in that form when he saw Claudia's spell going from the one mountaintop to the other. So my theory on that is that form happens when he uses extremely powerful dark magic, and that it does probably last for a while. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. It would have to last for a while. The thing, though, is how would he be able to properly traverse the grounds of the castle? Like, wouldn't people question that if they saw him like that? That raises a question. Maybe he could have a spell that could like disguise himself for long enough. I don't know. But in the first place, going back to our heroes, they were on the mountain to try and find this magical healer who could heal the dragon egg. We find out that there was no healer in the first place, and that the person that the girl and her wolf had been found by was a mage, a moon mage, and that she didn't heal the wolf at all, that she did not give him his leg back, but she put this spell on him so that anyone around him would be able to see and feel a leg as if it were really there. But in reality, he didn't have a leg still. She demonstrated that when she took off his the necklace that he was wearing that was that the leg spell was bound to, and the leg disappeared. Now that raises a big question, though. Was that necklace, that thing couldn't have been on him the entire time, all of those 3 years, right? They would have had to take it off to bathe him, I would assume. And even so, it's like he was a puppy back then 3 years ago. That thing wouldn't have fit on him 3 years ago. So if they had taken it off of him to get a bigger, not really a collar, whatever you would call it, to get a bigger, I'm just going to call it collar, to get a bigger collar put on him, it would still reveal the illusion at that point. So it feels weird that was never revealed before. Now, if that was, if the magic was on the collar itself, I don't know. That just feels that's confusing. I'm not sure if that. I think I'd consider that a plot hole. But maybe I missed something regarding that. Maybe I did. It's very possible. But either way. So we also find out that the mountain that is so dangerous and stuff isn't actually dangerous, really. I mean, outside of normal mountain danger. It's all illusions created by the Moon Mage in order to protect the area, basically. That nothing is actually truly dangerous there. Again, outside of normal mountain dangers. And that's really interesting to know. None of these monsters were actually a danger. They're all illusions, but they're physical illusions. They're illusions that you can interact with in a way. But like you can't actually get hurt by them, is what it's saying. Which is really interesting to know. Um, so the dragon prince is hatched now, and we kind of got this new partner on our team. But the question is, where is that going to lead? Like, I assume he's going to be able to help them out, use his dragon magic or shit. Um, but it's like, I mean, their goal is still to get him to the mountain, I presume, to where he's meant to be. But at the same time, it's just like that might end up being a little harder now, because now you've got to, instead of just sneaking an egg around, you've got to sneak a baby dragon around. And that's probably going to be tricky. So yeah. Now here's a question. Viren wanted the egg back. And he told Claudia that that was her secret goal. That was her special mission, to get the egg back by any means necessary, even if it costs her brother's life. That it is more important than her brother. Well, of course, we know her brother's mission is to kill the princess. Basically, just so he can, Viren can ascend to the throne. But yeah. So Claudia's supposed to get the egg back. The egg is hatched now. That's going to affect things. So I think when they're going, when Claudia and her brother find them, I think that might be actually what changes things now. Now that they've gotten the egg back, now that the egg's hatched, they're not going to be able to take it back. She's probably going to end up revealing her mission on accident. And that's going to probably cause her brother to reveal his mission and shit. And yeah, everything's going to go to hell, basically. It's going to be interesting. I still think they're going to end up being redeemed in the end. I don't think that they're bad guys. I think that they're going to be redeemed. As for this moon mage, I don't think she's going to stick around. I think she's going to stay on the mountain, continue to protect it. I don't think she's going to be any recurring character. She might appear once more, like at some point in season 2, besides, just the very beginning. She might appear one more time at some point for whatever reason, but I don't think she's going to be a driving force going forward. And yeah, we're definitely going further into things now. Now I wonder what's going to happen regarding Amaya and her translator, because her translator's still trapped in the dungeon and shit. She presumably doesn't know about that. I assume she's going to come back in season 2, and I assume that they're going to give some kind of resolution to that storyline. I just don't know where exactly that's going to, well, go. But I am very, very much interested. Yeah, this series started off a little slow. It started off a little weak. But it definitely got a hold of what it was trying to do. And really started to, like, fully be able to express its true story. And I'm enjoying it. I am. I would not say that this is anywhere near the level of Giancarlo Volpe's other work, Avatar, obviously. It's nowhere near Avatar level. Nowhere near. But it's good. I enjoy it. And yeah, I definitely want to see what happens. I like the characters. I like the story. I'm very much interested to see where this goes. I said last time that I wasn't quite sure yet on how I felt about Claudia. And I still kind of stand by that, because it's like, in terms of her personality, she's very goofy and silly. But then she's also very intense and into this dark magic, to a point where it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's I feel like it's giving me two different sides to her, and I don't know which side is her true side. I don't know if her true self is the happy-go-lucky, joke-loving goofball, or if it's the darker aspect of things. If it's the dark magic wielding, serious, um, intense. I wouldn't say psychopath, but just yeah. I don't know how else to word it. Um, yeah, it's just I don't know which side of her is true because I mean I could see how she got that from her father and stuff, how she got her darker side from her father and all. But at the same time, it's like I want to believe her goofy side is more natural. The thing is, I just don't know. Like I said, it's almost like there's two different characters trapped in one body. And I want them to kind of bring it together a little more. And hopefully they will in season two. Um, as for the other characters, Callum and Ezrin right now, Ezrin has been given a little bit of development and growth with this entire Fluttershy animal speaking ability. And that's definitely interesting. But Callum is still kind of very bland to me. I don't hate him or anything. It's just like he's just very bland. He's boring compared to all the other characters. I mean, Rayla is an extremely interesting and endearing character. She is easily my favorite right now by a long shot. I love her personality, her character, her depth, her continued growth. It's amazing. Callum just seems bland to me. And Ezrin, like I said, he's gotten better. He started off as kind of this bland, generic character as well, but he's gotten a little better. Um, Viren as a villain, Viren is a great villain. Like, I mean, I despise him, but I'm supposed to despise him. That's clearly the point. Um, he's a really fantastic villain, and he's handled very well. He comes across as extremely menacing, and I actually do like the parts where he tries to be nice or tries to be friendly or just generous or whatnot, especially like in regards to how he was treating the elf guy. He brings him food and wine and stuff, well, berry juice. Um, and it's like this exotic food, like the stuff that he would normally eat. And it's just like, that's actually extremely generous, but at the same time, it makes you stop for a moment and think. It's like, that's actually concerning it by how generous that is. And I love that. I love that. Like, that's great for a villain. I like villains who are unnerving when they're being kind. It actually makes me think of a song I like by Ken Ashcorp. It's called Crazy Chicks. And granted, obviously the the lyrical content that Crazy Chicks is about is completely different from this scenario. But in the song, it says, "You're creepy when you're kind," talking about crazy chicks, crazy girls. Um, because it's the song is basically about a guy who has a thing for crazy chicks, who is in love with those kind of girls. And so it's like you're creepy when you're kind because it's like I like you when you're crazy. I enjoy your insanity. Um, Cue Himiko Toga from Boku no Hero Academia. Um, but yeah, it's like you're creepy when you're kind. It's like it's not natural for you. So when you're actually acting that way, it comes across as really unnerving. And that's kind of how it seems when Viren acts that way. It comes across as fake as hell. It's not believable whenever he's acting kind. It comes across as fake and forced, but in a very good way. Because it comes across as him pretending to be nice, to get information or to get his way. And it even kind of puts his relationship with the late king in perspective. Who, by the way, I still stand on the fact that I did not like the king. Um, but his relationship with the king, he was extremely nice to the king. He was extremely forgiving and patient, despite the king going against his desires and stuff. And he was friends with the king. I'm starting to think, now that I'm seeing more of how this how his nicety is just an act, I'm starting to think that he was never actually friends with him. See, earlier in the series, in my reactions to it and all, I had said that I think that he did truly care for him, but that his goals overweighed that care, and that he put those goals before his actual, caring for his friend. Now, by the end of season 1, I'm actually thinking the opposite. I think that he never cared for the king, that he was using him this entire time, or at least trying to use him. That he was trying to use that power to, well, keep his position, which gave him a certain level of power, but also use the king in order to achieve his own goals, to manipulate him, in other words. And that is downright evil. That's fantastically evil. That's great to see. And so I definitely am kind of leaning towards that now. So that's interesting. I'm excited to see where this series goes with season 2, but as I said before, I will be taking a break. Next week, we will be starting Reincarnated as a Slime. Again, I don't know whether I'm doing the sub or the dub yet. I just haven't decided. If you guys have a suggestion on that, please tell me in the comments below. And please don't just say sub because dubs are always bad. Don't do that. Like, give me legitimate, like, reasons and stuff, and tell me, like, why you would rather have me react to one over the other, or whatever. Just don't be a sub supremacist. But yeah, this is turning out great, and I will get to season 2 for sure. Like, that will come in the future. I just don't know when. Like I had said before, we are going to anime, and the next time, if we don't end up canceling Slime, the next time we'll be bringing a second show into that rotation once again. Will be after JoJo finishes on Saturdays, and so then we'll just bring Dofus back, and we'll have one cartoon and one anime going at the same time. But I'll mention it here as well. Movie reactions for the reward donation days. I'm thinking of doing movie reactions once in a while as a replacement for regular reactions. Like, just like maybe 1 week, let's say we're doing Slime next, right? So let's say maybe 1 week, instead of doing Slime, we do the next movie reaction that's on the list. And I'm not talking about like the monthly movie stuff. That's still separate. I'm talking about the regular, the movie reactions that are donation rewards. And that would go for YouTube stuff too, in a way. No, actually, I think YouTube stuff I'll just get to when I get to it. It'll be sort of like Star Versus is, which, yes, I know I haven't gotten to the finale yet. I know. Just haven't had the time. But it's gonna kind of be like that. I'll just get to the YouTube stuff or whatever when I get to it. Movies, I'll just have be a replacement for regular reactions. So, like, right now, for example, like I said, we're going into Slime, but once we have like 2 shows a week for donation reward days, both of those shows would be put on hold that week for the movie. Just because it would just be the smartest idea in order to get it out. But speaking of the monthly movie reaction, I do want to mention that one last thing as well, because I haven't gotten to that. Makia or Markia, however it is, that will be coming hopefully tomorrow. That is my plan as of now. I cannot promise anything, but hopefully tomorrow, Friday. Um, I should be able to get to that alongside She-Ra tomorrow. I don't have any other big things to record other than the Star Versus finale, but I'm going to put the movie reaction first at the moment, just because I do want to get it out by the end of the month, you know? And there is one more week for the movie reaction to be able to get out, of course, because the last day of the month is next week. But yeah, I think it would just be better to get it out as quickly as possible. And as for Star Versus, I don't know at this point. If I can get it done tomorrow as well, I will. But if not, I can try for Saturday, but I can't guarantee anything. All I know is that when I do get to it, it'll be the entire last 4 episodes together, because it's, you know, all one thing. So yeah. Either way, tell me in the comments below what you thought of these final 2 episodes of Season 1 of Dragon Prince. And thank you so much for tuning in. And once again, I do want to thank Smurf Vlogs for choosing this as the donation reward, but also for donating that insane amount of money for me to get this new computer in the first place. It's just such a amazing thing you did there, dude. And again, definitely thank you for choosing this series. Like, I was going to check out this show anyway, but this definitely bumped it up much further. Like, I probably would not have even started it yet. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did because of your donation reward. So yeah. Either way, tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and thank you once again. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See you all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,